Okay, we're now recording. All right. So, like I said, Marty and John won't be able to join us tonight. Now, what I want to do tonight is I want to do basically two things. One is to show you, demonstrate demonstrate this polling software that Ken has come up with. It's called Slido, and we're going to go through a little example of how it would work. And I hope you all got my message earlier to have your smartphones handy. Okay, have your phones handy because they're going to play a role in this polling software. Then the second main thing is, I want to bounce ideas off of you that we're coming up with, and I want to get your immediate feedback if you have any right now, or at least give you some things to think about, and hopefully you'll maybe want to give us some feedback later on, because I think we're coming up here with a good concept. Quite honestly, I think we're coming up with a good concept, and basically, what we're trying to do is we're trying to formulate a format that we can utilize on the Monday evening broadcast that will then feed into the roundtable, and basically in time drive the format of the roundtable, all for the purpose of making COS Indiana Live, which includes the roundtable, making it interactive, making it more responsive to the residents of Indiana, for the purpose of getting them to join Convention of States. That's the whole ultimate goal here: growing the grassroots. And I mean, I know that's what we've been trying to do all along, but we're still trying to do that. We're just trying to come up with maybe making some format changes that will make COS Indiana Live truly more responsive, more interactive. That's what we're trying to do. So I had sent you this Word document earlier in the week. I've since updated it with some more thoughts. We'll take a look at that when after we do this demo. But there's some things on there that I want you to again think about and give me some feedback on, because we're constantly trying to come up with some ideas here, and we got to think about, we basically got the rest of December here to determine what we're going to do starting in January, and starting with the Monday night broadcast in January, as well as the first roundtable in January. So we got to keep going here. We got to keep this moving. Anybody have any questions or any comments so far? Yeah, George.
So we're going to need our phones to respond to the poll. When we did this in Toastmasters, we could do it right on just click on option on the screen.
Yes. That's what you're going to do.
Thing is, George,
well,
only the people,
not exactly.
only the people that are in here, I think, can respond on this screen, right? So we want to get outside people that have to
Uh,
use their phone. Is that
uh,
right?
Did you hear that, Ken?
Yeah, I'm not sure I'm understanding Gary's question.
I'm not making a question. I'm making a point
Okay.
that we need phones because people that are not on this call, we're looking for them to respond, and they have to respond by a phone because they're not in StreamYard, so they can't respond here. Does that make sense?
Well,
Yeah.
but your point is there's a little bit of misunderstanding on that. You can't actually, as George was alluding to, you can't actually touch the screen and respond. You have to use either your phone or a browser in your computer or your laptop or an iPad. I find the phone is the easiest way to do it because as what you'll see when we get started, you can basically just hold your phone up, you open your camera and hold the phone up to a QR code, and that puts you right into the software, and then you
Okay.
respond on your phone.
And now, Gary, that means viewers will be able to do that.
Right.
You don't have to be. You
That's
don't
my
have to
point.
be in StreamYard.
Yeah.
We're just.
That's
I'm-
my point. That's why I was telling George, you don't.
Yeah.
People
I'm
need
just trying to
phones because they're coming in from outside to our poll.
Right, wherever they're watching it from, whether they're at home on their couch with an iPad or they're in their car with a phone, they can respond to the poll or the quiz with their phone. The clarification I was trying to make is that because we are in StreamYard doesn't mean that we can utilize your computer screen or your or the software StreamYard itself. You have to use a phone or a browser. So just wanted to clarify that. Maybe I misunderstood.
Yeah.
Okay, Ken, should I, to make this demonstration more meaningful, should we remove everyone from the screen here, or so it's just you and I?
Sure. I mean, if that's what it's going to be, when it's time to do it,
That's what it will look like when it's time to do it, right?
I would think.
Okay. Okay, now, Gary, George, Rick, you guys can still hear us, right? Okay, they can hear us. All right.
Okay.
Okay, Ken, go. You want to get started?
Okay.
Well, tell everybody what's going to happen first here.
Well, and again, this is all kind of just an example and experimentation, so anything can be changed, including what I've ended up calling. We're going to try and use Marengo to introduce this segment because Marengo won't be doing anything else as far as that's concerned. So what I've just done is just kind of an example. We're obviously looking for suggestions, input as we go through this whole thing and get to the end of it. The questions that will be used, the poll, or there's a multiple question. It's overall, it's just a overview of everything that can happen. So on a couple of these questions, we'll actually get the next slide will actually show responses. So in case we wanted to, I don't know, whatever, give an award for the person who has the correct answer or the quickest answer, it will actually show us when you guys put in your answers. It will put that into a slide as well. So we don't. That's all optional. It doesn't have to be the way that it shows tonight. Just trying to give you an overview of everything that it can do. So with that in mind, we'll go ahead and start Marengo.
The segment that features you. Scan the code and join the fun. It's your turn to be heard.
So that's the QR code that you want to screen or shoot with your phone, or open with your browser, slido.com, and put in that code number, and that will
Okay,
bring
now
you
it's
to
not showing, Ken. It's not showing on the screen.
not
It's
showing.
added
How's
to the
this?
screen.
Okay, my fault.
There
it
you
is.
go.
Okay. So that's the QR code that you just hold your phone up to, and it should take you to the place to answer. I'll go ahead and do the same thing while I'm doing this, I guess. It'll bring up your browser or a place to view it, and it should bring you right into Slido. And you would put your name in and hit join. It'll show us everybody that's joining. There's Rick, Gary. The only one we're waiting on is George. Where are you, George?
Okay, mine says 4 users have already joined, so
That's it. Yeah. Myself,
right.
Gary, Rick, and you. We're waiting for George. George, you having trouble with the connection? Not getting George. There he is there.
Are you having trouble with it, George?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yep.
Now we can.
Okay. Yeah, it's not taking my phone doesn't do QR codes. I've tried on business cards and stuff, and just
Okay.
I don't know.
Do you have a browser you can go to, George, in your phone or on your computer?
Well, I got my desktop up.
If you open up
my Chromebook.
if you open a new tab and put
Yeah.
in slido.com, then there'll be a place to put that number in, 668-679, and you'll join that way. So this is good.
Slido.com.
Yeah, slido.com. This will show you that there's a number of ways that you can join this and participate. It doesn't have to be the phone, and that'll be good because some people might not have a phone that works that way too. So when you get your tab and put that in, you'll be a place to put that number in, and then you'll hit join.
Yeah. 668-679.
Yep. And we should see you pop into the screen here as soon as you hit join.
There we go.
Internet?
Yep. Six 678-679. Slido. Working on it.
Yep. We'll see it pop in a minute.
Well, this is we got to think about this, Ken. How do we handle this kind of situation?
You can see how fast the phones worked. If people are having trouble getting in because of internet, there's nothing we can do about that.
Nothing we can do about that. Okay, he's in. He said it's now 5 users.
George just came in and joined in there. So now what would happen basically is I got to get back to. I got to see how I operate this thing again without. All right, I got to share my tab. Oh, I got to go to the tab. Okay, so I may disappear here. Okay, so now the next thing that'll happen is basically once we start that, we go to the next tab, which is basically our first question. So you basically go ahead and answer that on your phone and put in your answer. And of course, we'll have to come up with a bit of a timing thing on this, how long we'll leave that up on the screen.
Do you determine that then?
Well, I could. I would have to, put a little timer on it or whatever, to figure out. We'd have to basically decide how long we wanted to keep it up. But this basically shows you the answers that happened. Okay. And if we go to our next slide, it shows a leaderboard. So again, that's optional. We don't have to show the leaderboard. It's just something that if we were doing something where we were giving something away, or, promoting somebody for being a quick answer or whatever, that shows you when it was answered and the leaderboard on that. So we go to the next one, and that's a question. Should the Supreme Court have term limits? Just a simple yes or no. And we would move on to the next slide. Obviously, there's a yes and a no answer, or yes answers and a no answer. And we could move on to the next one. Again, this is optional, but that shows the ranking of the answers only. And then basically I put this in because this is an area that we would use to try and collect people's interest. So which of the following interests you? Attend a webinar to learn about about COS, learn about becoming a volunteer, put in your email. That's going to be another way that I have to work on that a little bit to see how that works. But that's how that would work as far as that slide. And then the last question, basically, outside of voting, do you think it's time to become more active in order to fix what's broken in government? This one, I don't know whether this was an experiment. I think it's only going to allow us to put in a word. I was hoping to be able to put in a little bit more of that, but so you put in your answer on that, and it shows the answers as they come in. And that basically is just a quick overview. We also have, at the beginning, I could have shown this, which was joining instructions. And we also have a laser pointer if we needed to laser point. So it's got a number of different options. And then stop presenting. And I need to get out of.
Well, just hit remove and.
Yeah. I got to get back to.
What are you trying to do?
Did it remove? There we go.
Yeah.
I'm back. So that's basically it in a nutshell. You want to bring everybody back up, Dale?
Yeah.
I got the questions okay, but I wasn't seeing the results screen on my desktop.
You weren't seeing them, huh? Okay.
I saw the questions okay, and I was able to respond and all that, but when you popped up the individual results screen and the answers to the quiz, that was not coming up on my desktop. I saw them here, but I didn't see them on my desktop.
So what Ken and Dale, what I think you need to do, you need to post that QR code thing. Then you need to have something to talk about for a couple minutes to give a lot of people time to get into it before you start polling people.
Yeah,
true.
So that
true.
You don't go bang, bang, and people are still fumbling around trying to get in.
Right. Yeah, obviously we haven't talked about timing or any of that, and just really wanted to, basically have everybody go through the procedure of doing it to see really, the ease of doing it. But yeah, working out the kinks would certainly be figuring out the timing. You want to leave it on the screen, and I'm wondering if that screen that George wasn't seeing, I don't know whether that was because of maybe a browser issue, which we have to think about, or whether that was just maybe I'd need to leave that screen up longer if we use it. I don't think we'd use it all that often.
I'm just trying to think whether it's something we need to use. You said that's
right.
That's optional, right?
Yeah, it's all optional. I put it in there so you can see what it did, but right. Yeah, I don't think we'd use that except for a rare occasion where maybe you were trying to give something away or something,
Yeah.
I think it's okay to show it up. I mean, it wasn't just because I can't see it on my desktop. they're going to be watching on something, right?
Right,
So
right.
you can see the results on whatever screen they're watching at. It's not something I have to interact with.
Well, that's right, George. I mean, Ken, they will be able to see what's being shown on the screen, right?
Right.
They may not see it on their computer, but on their laptop or desktop, but they'll be able to see it on.
By watching the StreamYard presentation, yeah, it'll show on the screen. Sure.
Yeah, that's a good point, Jory. I forgot about that.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe it's not such a big deal whether we keep it in or not.
Right.
It's interesting to know. I always want to know what were the results, you know?
Yeah.
Well, and those can be emailed if we figure out a way. I have to do a little more research on that, but results can also be emailed to people. That way again, we need to figure out more ways to collect emails and contact people. So just
if you get
like
a lot
I said,
of people on that, and you have a number of poll questions, that gives you a good way to say, hey, for full results, give us your email and we'll send you the full results of all the polling.
Right.
That's pretty.
That'd be a good hook to get people to give you their email.
Yeah. Yeah, that's behind the scenes. That's the ultimate object, is to create ways to interact with more people and be able to send them new invitations to the next roundtable or to the next Monday Night Live or to a webinar, whatever it is, or to COS University, whatever it is.
Yeah. Looks to me like a great tool to be able to interact with the viewers. And that's what's going to keep them coming back, I think, is that opportunity to have a two-way conversation, even if it's just answering a poll. Right.
Well, and the other one that I have to work on a little bit more is basically, I have to make sure that we can put in more than just a word answer. I'm like, for instance, what hot topic or what interest, what interests you? I mean, there was one question there that obviously we gave answers to, but if we were looking for somebody to put in their own interest or what they'd like to learn more about, that can also be done. So we just have to figure out which.
That's just it. How do we ask that? How do we ask that?
How do we what?
What questions do we put in this polling? What questions are we asking?
Well,
yeah, that's where we need input from everybody.
When it's looking for a word answer, did anybody respond on that and enter something? And maybe it just takes whatever you write, no matter how many words it is.
Yeah, it's. I mean, I can play around more with that myself to find out. Let me see if I can even.
Can you ask that question again, and we can see if we can type a sentence for an answer?
Yeah, let me see if I can bring that back up.
Because I just put in one word.
Right.
I did too.
No, wrong. Don't want Marengo. I wanted StreamYard. Let me see. We're not the.
Well, I think you're going to have to share your screen again.
Yeah, that's what it is.
So I think it'd be easier for the software just to pick whatever is entered, as the word, rather than just taking the first word. Like, when we enter an email, is that considered more than one word or not?
Yeah, those are the things I'm going to have to play around with a little bit. I think I have to go back to start presenting this again. Let's see. I might have to go back out. Active poll. There we go. Are you guys seeing this right now?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, it says, should the Supreme Court have, that was funny, should the Supreme Court have term limits? And I said yes, and it came up with incorrect answer.
Did it really?
Yeah.
All right, so this was the one I think. Which of the following interests you? But I'd have to probably clear these results out. Let's see if I can do that on the fly. And this does have an autoplay feature, which goes everywhere from 2 seconds up to 30 seconds. Stop presenting, caption preferences. Oh, wait a minute here. Text size.
So you can put in like 10 questions and then hit autoplay and it'll automatically just proceed through them.
Right.
That'd be nice. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm just reading that now. I'm just trying to figure out if there's a way that I could actually get us to redo that without going back and restarting the software. Yeah. But that's, I think, those are the answers, obviously. But
Ken, there's a button up there that says Q&A, and it looks like I can enter a question and send it. You want me to test that?
Yeah, please. I don't see that. So
back on the screen where the question is, there's a Q&A. So I touched that
on your phone.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
yeah, I'm seeing that. I got that on my desktop too.
So I'm going to I typed in a question. Rick entered question. Did you get this? Now hit the ask button.
Okay. I have to figure out where I'm at here.
And see if you get that.
Okay. I got to see where I'm at and where that would come through.
I didn't mean to interrupt you there. I'll test it for you.
Oh, well, I see. Yeah. It's a private chat.
I entered a question also.
Okay. I might not be able to find it until later or whatever, but let me go back to see if I can get the presentation here. That's not the right way. Yeah, this would all be new that I haven't played around with yet. So I go back to.
Can actually submit their own question.
Yeah, that would be great. Stop presenting. I'm going to stop presenting for a second.
That'll take care of the multi-word entry. They can just censor it as a question. If we can't do more than one word entry.
I see.
Are you guys hearing me okay?
Yeah. George, I see your question. What time of day is 12? So that popped up on my.
Okay, so it's popping up there.
Yeah.
Yeah, I saw yours too.
Okay, so I should be able to see that unless my browser cut out here.
Yeah, I closed the app, so I don't see either one of them.
Yeah, I probably did as well. Let me see.
I don't know if I can get back in. Let me try that.
Share screen again. No, let me go back to see if I can start that software over again. There was a way that I cleaned out what Dale and I did the other day, so I should be able to do that. Present to a meeting. There's still a number of features in here I haven't played with.
Yeah, at the top I can do Q&A, which is where I'm at now, or there's the polls. Let's go back to the questions you were putting up and getting the results for. So I can see the potential for this thing. It's pretty slick.
Yeah.
This is really going to get people interacting.
Yeah, so you can do rankings, quiz, ratings, word cloud. I do see a button here for open text, so I think we can collect text responses to an open-ended question. So I think we can do that. Yes.
Yeah, it sounds right.
Yep. So that sounds workable. I'm just trying to figure out. I forget how I cleared it out last time, but yeah, a little bit more playing around. Let me see. I can probably start this over again, though. Present from current slide. Is that showing up, or do I need to?
No.
You're not sharing your screen right now.
I got to go back and share my screen.
Okay. Do we want to
Mess with it?
More time on it?
I think it gives you a good idea. some of those little,
obviously we've got kinks to work out, and
Yep. But I think it gives you the idea of what we could do with it, and seems to me like we could do it. That open-ended text is important because there we could have people actually add their email addresses from there.
but it just dawned on me tonight as you were going through this exercise is we got to decide what questions to ask here, and so that kind of brings us into we'll be playing with this this software. We'll be playing with this in future meetings and working out the kinks and getting the bugs out of it. So because we're trying to offer this as part of a 30-minute broadcast on Monday nights. So we can't be spending 30 minutes trying to figure out how to operate the poll.
No, I think we, on a 30-minute broadcast that we're trying to do, you're probably going to only be looking at 2 or 3 questions most likely, and then looking for some input maybe. But
yeah, looks to me like a great tool.
Yeah, I agree.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Got my vote.
We'll keep working on that then. Well,
probably questions, you're going to have different questions each week, I would think, based on whatever topics in the news or that sort of thing, probably.
Well, that's just it, Rick. I'm not sure how we go about doing this. Let me share my screen here and bring up the.
Well, I think the other thing too is I think one question we probably ask every week will be trying to get what topic or what area of interest the viewers want. I think we're gonna want that input every week just so we get more. We start to fill up our future programming.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, I think you could ask a whole lot with this thing. You can ask a lot of questions and encourage a lot of questions back. I mean, just what does self-governance mean to you, or things like that. And it really opens up a lot of different questions that can be asked, I think.
Yeah,
And,
if you can have that QR code up there for the first several minutes, then people, once they come accustomed to this, they know they can scan that, and then when you do start asking questions, they're ready to give you feedback. So yeah, I think this looks like a.
Yeah, I can put the QR code up in the very beginning and leave it up as long as we need to start.
Yeah,
that's a good idea. That. So you think they could scan that at any time then, huh?
Oh yeah.
Go to the and go to the survey or to the poll before you even put it up on the screen?
That I don't know. I know I can put the QR code up at any time and get people to at least get people to the site to answer the questions. I don't know whether I can auto play it without showing it on the screen though.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't think that's possible.
Well, okay. Here's a thought we had at the beginning here. Until we develop a lot of viewer responses, I think what we're going to have is we're going to have some of our canned responses. Just like the I want to know segment, the kind of questions that we had. I think we're going to have to get some canned viewer input here at the beginning until we start getting some active viewers. Y'all understand what I'm saying?
Right.
What I'm trying to say. Uh, this is the document that I've been kind of updating as ideas come to my mind and as things are suggested, Ken suggests, or anyone else. But so I've been updating this and copying everybody on it, hopefully to get your input and make you ask you to start thinking, giving some thought to these topics. But I kind of thought initially here that we would start, or we would limit the Monday night broadcast. We would limit the Monday night broadcast to a focus on convention of states basics. That's what I was thinking. Now, once again, now the Monday night broadcast is supposed to be designed as a teaser to stimulate viewer input from our target audience, and that target audience being Hoosier residents that are not currently supporters of convention of states, and assuming that they know very little about convention of states. So I thought the Monday night broadcast should focus, in general, should focus on convention of states basics. And here I just listed a bunch of basics, convention of states basics, that we could consider presenting in some way or another. Of course, not all of them at one time, but we would be presenting this kind of information on the Monday night broadcast, and hopefully to stimulate viewer responses.
So Dale, can I ask a question real quick? Just so, are you planning on using the Slido just in the roundtable, and then the Monday night you'll like invite people to submit questions through the chat, and those questions will make up the Slido questions? Or
no, the Slido, my thought was the Slido polling would be done on the Monday night broadcast. Then the viewer responses is what would drive then the format of the roundtable.
oh, I got you. Okay, I had it backwards. All right, yeah.
Yeah. So we wouldn't be doing Slido on the roundtable. We would be presenting. We would be going more in depth and presenting information, educational responses, whatever, to viewer input that we collected through the Monday night broadcast.
Right. Could we? Would it help if we used the Friday night roundtable meeting to create questions for Monday?
Yes. Some
That's
of
a good suggestion.
the canned questions you're talking about.
Well, the canned questions or whatever, you could report what questions that came up during the Monday, and then the following Friday we could, when we do the roundtable meeting like we normally do, and you can say, okay, here's the questions that came up from our viewers, but we only got a couple, so we need some more, or
Combination of
we got 20 or
both.
whatever. Yeah. But we use the Friday night to then give you a list of questions or give him the list of questions to put in the Slido.
Okay. Oh, all right. Yeah.
This is fun.
I think I'm understanding. Yes. But once we have some viewer input now, then we've got to work on preparing for the next roundtable, and how are we going to prepare the content for the next roundtable to address those viewer questions.
Well, I think that's what Rick was saying. You use the Friday night to collectively combine any input we had through the polling or quizzes, and combine that with anything else we have to do to fill with questions.
Yeah, you just right. You just add to the Friday night meeting. We just add a little period there where we can, create the questions for the next Monday. And as the month goes along, it would develop the content.
Okay.
The
All right.
roundtable would develop
All right. All right.
or something like that.
But okay. I think I agree with what you're saying there, Rick. I'm also saying though, who's gonna develop who's gonna develop the content for the upcoming roundtable meeting?
Oh, I see what you're saying.
Who's gonna are we gonna
I think
do?
I think that depends on the area that you're focusing on. It might be one I don't know, one month it might be Marty because it's a legislative type deal, or and not that he would have to develop everything, but he might be the main person involved that week or that month. I don't know.
Well, I had also listed down here. I added some possible activities I think that we could present on the roundtable. I guess in answer to maybe some specific viewer questions or viewer concerns. And I was thinking, I was kind of taking Marty's idea last time that he mentioned about having the LLs, the regional LLs, the team he's trying to develop, to have them be interviewed. And I was thinking that maybe if it's appropriate, if it's in answer to a viewer question in one way or another, on the roundtable, we could have Gary lead an interview with a region captain and some of his district captains, his or her district captain. Maybe that would be something that we could do as a response to some viewer question. Same thing with Marty. So Marty leads an interview or a panel discussion with one of his regional legislative liaisons. Same thing with Rick. Rick lead an interview or a panel discussion with his region events coordinators. Once he gets those,
I got two.
Ken could lead an interview panel discussion with maybe some of his social media warriors and how we need more. George leads an interview or discussion with a few
Joe
of
Biden.
his veteran coalition directors.
Thanks.
And we'll still use John. We'll still use John as the closing segment, inviting people, and it'll be on the roundtable. It's where we will invite people to join Convention of States. Not on the Monday night broadcast, but on the roundtable. The roundtable is where we're going to invite people to join Convention of States. And I'm also thinking that, the contributors that we have on the Monday nights, we can still have them, but have them do an expanded version of whatever they're talking about on the roundtable. So we'll have John Ackerman maybe do an expanded version of one of his contribution segments that he does on Monday night. Those are just some ideas. What do you think? What do you think about that?
Well, if I could I'll tell you what's in my head at the moment, and for what it's worth. But what you're driving at there with collecting these questions at the Monday night and collecting these questions through the month, and then coming to the roundtable, I could see the potential for those creating a real roundtable, where okay, so and so asked this question on Monday night, and then you would put that question out on the table, and then we would have the executive team, the 5 people from the executive team. Each one would be, it's kind of like what's that show on Fox, The Five? You throw out a question and each person gets to weigh in on that question, or something like that. And then, so you'd always have the 5 executive team members that would be addressing those questions, having a discussion over it. And then, you could still have these other people come in as a special thing, but I could see that being like a real roundtable type discussion based on the viewer questions through the month.
Yeah, I'm thinking that if you take viewer questions, you're probably going to get 4 or 5 people. Maybe they're going to ask the same question or the same kind of question on a single topic. And that tells you this is what you want to focus your roundtable on, because here's a question that is in multiple people's minds.
I think that's a good. I think Rick, that's a good point, because the question that we're trying to address may not fit into one of these. It may not fit into what Marty's doing or what Gary's doing, or
Right.
it may be something that we could address as the executive group.
Yeah. And that would then, I think that would encourage people to submit questions, because, submit your question and then come to the roundtable where we'll have a spirited discussion about your question.
Exactly. That's exactly what we're trying to do. Or this issue has come up. Viewers have asked this question. Tune in to the next roundtable on such and such, where we're going to have a panel discussion on this issue, or where we're going to present a video, or we're going to conduct a webinar on this particular topic. It could be any format. Doesn't have to be one of these that I just listed here. It could be any format.
So you can still take people's questions during the roundtable too, just like we normally do. While you guys are having that discussion of whatever question it is, people can still weigh in on,
Right.
viewer comments and stuff.
Yeah. Yes.
So, Dale, what's your next live broadcast topic?
Well, right now, the next broadcast is this coming Monday, the 13th, and right now, Debbie Stewart is scheduled to. I think she's going to be doing a civics lesson.
Okay, and what about the 20th?
The 20th, I hadn't. Well, I was going to. We were going to present the challenge coin recipients. We were going to edit that portion of the state call and play the video of presenting the challenge coins to the recipients.
Okay.
But we don't have to do this. That's what I'm saying. We don't have to do this.
The other thing
Go ahead, Ken.
I was going to say, the other thing I was going to add, just to back up a little bit on getting those questions. The other thing that if we're getting emails of these people, not only can we send a reminder about the roundtable, but we can also say, hey, invite some of your friends if this is a topic that you and your family or your friends want to learn more about or talk more about. So that's another way of trying to get people to, without even using our own social media warriors, we've got people that are submitting questions and they may say, you've got some friends that have some friends that have the same interests or same, concerns, invite them to the round table too. So it's just another way of distributing an invite. Go ahead, Gary. I didn't hear you.
Yeah. So, Dale, the thing I'm thinking about is that we ought to be talking about not just education, but we ought to be talking about action. Okay. And here's the point I want to make. We had, I don't know, it was a couple hundred volunteers that made over 16,000 calls into Houston related to this school board runoff election in response to, in large part, the lady from Houston that wrote the letter to Biden that brought the FBI looking at parents.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And, you know, we're sitting here conservatives, and what do we look at? We look at BLM. Well, they're doing action. What action are we doing? That's what people want to know. What can I do?
Right.
I think we tell them, you get connected with Convention of States and we do things. One of the things Mark said the other night is that, you know, a lot of organizations, they're lucky. They hope, you know, they feel lucky if they get 50 people sign up a day. We're getting 1,000 a day. And we are a place where people can come who want to do something, do more than learn about things, but actually want to do something that affects the future.
Changes direction. Yeah.
And I think it would be interesting to see if we present that as this is a place where you can, you know, get education, yes, but also become involved in taking action that will change the outcome of future events. Then maybe that's a way to hook people in. One of your poll questions, you know, do you think people, you know, should become active? I mean, I don't know, something, but the object of our organization is not just knowledge, it's really action. And we're doing that. That's the thing. I think the point I think we ought to be making to people, that we're not just educating people, we're taking action. And when the results are in on this Houston school board election, maybe we can say, you know, we helped turn out the people that were on the wrong side of the issues in the view of conservatives.
But are we encouraging people to take action, or are we providing the action for them to take?
Well, I think a lot of people would feel like they'd like to do something, but they don't really know what to do. And so if they join us, we're going to give them things. They can become a district captain, or they can become a volunteer activist. They can be part of a telepatriot team. They can be involved in talking to their neighbors, handing out, you know, here's a flyer about Article 5 and the convention. They can really be doing something, because I think a lot of people are, you know, are frustrated. I don't know if you know who MJ Alexander is from Arizona. He's on the Social Media Warrior national team, I think. But he just said something I thought was so poignant, that he said, you know, he got tired of sitting around yelling at the TV, and he decided to do something. And so he got involved in Convention of States. I think there's a lot of people out there that are like that. You know, they know sitting at home yelling at the TV isn't going to change anything. But if they get involved in an organization that's actually doing something, that they can help affect change.
Good point. Good point. Good point.
I think probably the education part of it comes in when you tell people how to go to the school board and how to, you know, I know Paul he had some good information on that. When you go to a school board, here's how to act, you know, make sure you keep your cool and all that kind of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Here's the things that you can say or should say. And, you know, here's how to contact your legislature. It's okay. They're not king, you know, they're just like anybody else. Call them up and give them your opinion. And then that one website he had, you could go to and see the status of different bills and stuff. You know, to me, those are kind of education things where like you say, people can get involved with COS and do things. And then there's other people who, maybe they don't want to be a district captain or whatever, but they want to do something. So here's what you can do in your community. So.
Okay. All right. Well, some good thoughts here. Good thoughts. How taking those thoughts and putting them into actual content. That's the challenge here. That's the challenge here. That's where I need your help. That's where I need your help to do this, to put this together. But I think we're on to a good concept here. Is my bottom line. It's just how we're going to make it. How we're going to make this happen. But I think we're on to a good concept here. Do y'all think we're in general we're onto a good concept?
Yes.
So I think it's better than, it's an improvement over what we were doing, I believe.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Okay. So next Friday, let's have another meeting next Friday, and let's do let's do a polling run through again, Ken, and let's hope it gets. Do you think are we ready to roll this out on Monday?
I think we need another run through. I think we need a little more time on it.
Yeah, I think we do too. I think we can maybe start talking about it on Monday.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think Monday would be too soon to roll it out. But okay. All right. Okay, let's do this. We'll next Friday we'll do another run through on the polling, and
also, if we have any other ideas, I just pulled out as far as Marengo goes. I mean, that's not a big deal. We don't even have to use them. But if we use them for that segment, I just pulled out Raise Your Voice as a headliner for the segment. But if you got, anybody has any other suggestions or ideas, we're open to making that change too.
Could you use a little intro video from Marengo Mike to post the Slido, a QR code, and have him talk about it?
Yeah, they can include the.
And then segue that into you guys having a conversation and saying, in a few minutes, we're going to have polling questions. Because I think once people tune in more than once they get accustomed to that, they're going to be looking forward to getting that QR code and being able to interact. Yeah,
I mean, he can give a quick kind of instructo type message showing a QR code. It won't be the active QR code, but he could say it's coming up, But just to get people versed on it.
Okay. All right. Keep thinking, folks. Give me any ideas that you got. Keep thinking.
What, Dale, is there a particular, you want us to come up with something that we email to you, or just have ideas next Friday night? Or if you want to massage these ideas, should we try to get you ideas in the next couple of days, or what?
Yeah. Give me your ideas. Slack the ideas to me as they come to you, and we'll try and cover them. We'll discuss it further at the next roundtable meeting. But no, I want you to go ahead and give me your ideas when they come to your mind.
Okay.
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 Good.
All right. I'm going to end the recording, and I'll send this out to you. So thanks a lot, everybody.
See y'all.
Yep.
Yep.